Before you even do anything and you try to skip past this video, please watch the intro because this actually could favor you, but it also helps me out a lot. Please, please, please watch the intro. Anyways, welcome. My name is BraveN. If you don't know who I am, I specialize in THX videos. Obviously, I don't have any music playing. I usually like have something in the background, whatever, but we're going to just jump right into it. But before I do, I want to make an announcement. At 1,000 subscribers on YouTube specifically, I am going to be doing a giveaway. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. The giveaway is consisting of the BlackShark V2 wired headset with my perfected EQs. Well, actually, it doesn't come with it, obviously, but these videos will help you. And then obviously, when you do get it, it'll have the little bit of a baseline EQ setting that works for competitive games. And then obviously we have that, and then along with that is my Basilisk V2 wired, still like brand new, and it was my mouse that I grew up with and got really good with. And then obviously you will also be receiving 3, even though these are only 2, but 3, there's more, 3 of my patented BraveN stickers, yet to be released, only to some in the public, very rare. And that's pretty much it. But definitely, please, if you want to have a chance to win this package, I absolutely appreciate all the support by following and liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel and all my socials. But the giveaway starts at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Please, please, please. Means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and hopefully a lucky contestant like you might win. Who knows? We'll be doing a raffle, and we'll be doing that on my live stream when I'm live streaming here on YouTube. So please keep an eye out for that once we hit 1,000 subscribers. But please, it doesn't cost anything to hit that subscribe button. Please, every support is truly appreciated. Every part of this is truly appreciated, and can't wait to do it. So anyways, before I continue, again, just want to mention that this will be technically the last EQ video for the BlackShark V2 Pro, and I actually decided to do the BlackShark V2 wired in the same video. So there'll be 2 different separate EQ videos, but we're going to start off with the BlackShark V2 Pro, and what's actually good is I can show you guys the setup methods for both and everything. This video is going to consist of how you set up your headset, the best way you could possibly set it up for both, and then on top of that, it's going to show you guys if you guys have any kind of issues that may have come up and you haven't done anything about it, then obviously I can show you guys the steps to take care of it. And also, if you guys want more information for somebody to help you out outside besides me, show you links of how to get to that as well. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my name is BraveN. I've learned a lot about Razer products. I've learned how they work and how things run with them, and this is the reason why I rock nothing but Razers, because truly once you learn and develop how it works, you won't leave it. And you know, it's a very, very broadened brand where they have a lot of things, everything pretty much you could think of for what your needs are with peripherals or other stuff too, including now PC parts, which I'm not there yet, but we'll get to it. All right, so just wait on that. Those that do know me, welcome back, and thank you so much for the support that you have given me. We're going to be knocking out the EQ settings and setup guide for your guys' BlackShark V2 or V2 wired or V2 Pro that you might have got just over the holidays or that you've had for a while and you just want to update. So I'm going to specify everything in this recording because I definitely didn't have a good time with some of the stuff that I was trying to get with EQs, because certain games' audio is just downright trash. And it's not that I'm talking about on a competitive stance. It's not that the game's audio doesn't sound good. Like, it does sound like cleaner audio for the most part, but it's just not competitively built together well. It's more or less like an ambient, how do I put it, or more like a realistic feel to it, which is also nice, but it does not help you in competitive games. And if you're buying the BlackShark V2 wired and V2 Pro, this is what they specialize in, is the competitive edge of audio. So that's what the goal is behind this headset. So, or these headsets, should I say. So that's why it was really hard to get some of these EQs, but I did the best that I possibly could. And hopefully you guys do enjoy what I have. But just remember that I mentioned this in all my videos, is that you start it as a baseline, what I use, and then from there you adjust, because everyone's ears are different. Some people's ears pick up different frequencies, a little bit louder, a little bit quieter. It just depends. But you just have to adjust what you think is more comfortable for you, but at the same time, what actually works really well. So without further ado, we're going to switch it right over, and we're going to show you guys the setup guide for the most part right off the bat before we start with all the EQs. So without further ado, let's get right over to it, shall we? So obviously we're going to go straight to if you have any questions, right? So if you have any questions, there's a contact page, obviously, for Razer support, but also on this website right here, it says razer.com/contact us. There's also online orders information, you know, the Cult of Razer, social medias you can reach out to. There's sales and marketing areas, and then the Razer support, obviously, is technical support and warranty too. So if you don't know, you guys have warranty on your products for 2 years. It's pretty much everything with Razer. Everything is 2 years. If you are in the US, they are based in Irvine, California, which is literally like right down the street from me. So that's actually great for me. I have yet to need to go there. I haven't had any products that I've definitely been like, oh, I need to return this. So that's good. But obviously they're all over there. They have a Europe office, which is in Hamburg, Germany. You got literally a Turkey office, Brazil, wherever you're at in the world. They pretty much have a somewhat local area for you to go to, or at least contact. But specifically, some of them have numbers. Obviously, you could contact them. But again, you can look up these office the office locations on Google, and pretty sure they'll have a link to a phone number or an email address to contact them. So from there, you could do what you got to do if you have any questions with that. But personally, like I said, the email is probably the best. They'll respond to that, especially with Razer support. And then again, if you have any questions about the headset, I mean, I know sometimes it's just really hard to reach out to people like that work with a big business like this. So you could always try to reach out to me, and I can try to answer the questions best as I know. But as far as I'm concerned, you just don't find these videos on the internet. This is why I did them in the first place, or any kind of information about really EQs. Everyone kind of has their own way of showing EQs, like on Reddit or something, but definitely nothing like this intuitive. So I'm hoping that you guys do see this and truly appreciate the work that I'm putting in for you guys, because it definitely means a lot for me to help other people out. But at the same time too, I really want my stuff to grow, because normally I'm not a tech guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like that crazy end tech guy that just literally goes into the depths of everything. Even though I do like to learn, I just don't do that as a career. My career is try to be a content creator and you know, maybe join an esports team eventually, because I feel like the skill is there. But anyways, you guys go to my YouTube videos. You can watch all that if you're interested in anything like that. But without further ado, we're going to keep continuing. So yes, that's the contact page. And again, if let's just say that you're not even really willing to go to that extent yet, you also have the software and firmware updates for Razer peripherals right here on this webpage. So obviously, it's not labeled for everything, because as you can see here too, I have the Razer Kraken V2 Pros, Razer.com exclusive, and this will be the next generation of videos that I'll be doing for the rest of this year with this headset. So obviously, I may even get the wired one eventually later on, but no talks about that yet. But that will be where my focus is behind, because it'll be a nice challenge to have to do EQs around a Hypersense headset. But speaking of that, the reason why I say that is because they don't have the Razer Kraken V2 Pro in here, right? They do have the BlackShark V2 Pro and V2 wired, and they do have guides for them, so you can tell, it tells you exactly how to do it. It's very easy, honestly. It's just a firmware updater. It'll literally download for you. You plug your headset in and it'll do everything for you. However, you may have already got a headset, right? This one says January 28, 2021. So you might have already gotten a batch of the headset that has already been renewed, like you can consider it a Gen 2, and it already have the latest firmware installed in it. So this is just in case you don't, and you could go install the firmware and it could fix a lot of issues that might come over, even audio quality. So the V2 wired and the V2 Pro, both around January 28th, 2021. So about a year old now, but they're still the most recent firmware. Actually, this is September 23rd, 2020. So most likely your BlackShark V2 Pro is already up to date. Most likely, because batches have been bought out. This has been a great headset, so most likely it's updated. But if not, just check it just to make sure. You could download it, uninstall it, or whatever the firmware thing, and as simple as that. It's very easy. Once you do it, you're done. Delete it. But anyways, that goes for any of your products. So you obviously have the console stuff, you have the keyboards, you know. I actually had to do mine on my Huntsman Mini not that long ago. Actually, it was a little while ago, but still I had to do it for my Huntsman Mini keyboard. And then you have like the Basilisk Ultimate, Basilisk V2 mouse, you got the Mamba, you got the Pro Click, the Orachi V2, the Viper 8 kilohertz. You know, there's probably some in here that I haven't even realized I have to fucking update. So besides that, firmware updater, very, very useful, very helpful, and it will take care of a lot of the issues that you might run across with your headset if you have any questions, like I said. But if you do have questions, let me know. But this should set you up right off the bat for the perfect setup, and then from there, it should be golden. So, anyways, now we're going to go into the sound system. By the way, I'm on Windows 11, so it looks a little different. But this is where you want to be. I have Windows 11. So Windows 11, this is what it looks like, but this is technically how you want it to be set up. Obviously, input device should not be Razer USB sound card. That's actually false. You don't want that. You want to have it as set to microphone if you're using an external source. Obviously, if you're using your headset's mic, you're going to be using the BlackShark V2 Pro or the USB sound card, which is your V2 wired headset. And then obviously your speakers is always THX spatial audio. And the reason why I tell you to set it up like this is because you're going to unlock the channels in your headset versus stereo sound where it's literally just one channel and another channel, right? Which is technically two drivers in each headset. That would be considered stereo. So what I'm trying to have you do is let Windows unlock with the surround sound spatial audio experience by using it as your output device, okay? And then when you go into Razer Synapse, right? Obviously, you can see here in Razer Synapse, we can close this out. When you go into Razer Synapse, you're going to have your BlackShark V2 Pro and your Razer sound cards. Obviously, we said we're going to start with the BlackShark V2 Pro. I'm going to show you guys right here. You see how it says actions recommended, and then it'll say use this device instead. THX spatial audio is currently is in use for speakers. Just make sure that this is THX spatial audio. You should just click right over and you should be good to go, okay? The reason why mine wasn't set up like that is because I've been using a different headset, so it kind of reinstalled and, you know, did its thing, whatever. So, forgive me. But that's why it's set up like that. And then from here, you want to make sure that when you start up your headset, every time, you're going to want to turn on your, obviously, your Razer Synapse, okay? And you want to come in here. You're going to choose the EQ of your game. Okay, let's just say Apex, right off the bat. You're going to want to turn THX spatial audio on. Then you're going to turn it to custom mode. And then you're going to turn it off. But make sure you verify that Apex Legends or whatever game you have it set to as the profile, which technically will be in there, is set to custom mode. Okay, then you just click it off. Done. Forget about it. Good. Okay, from here, this is where you want to see the video because this is where it's going to show you everything entirely of how you want to set up audio EQs, okay, for specific games. Also, too, I'm going to be doing, obviously, this is a microphone set thing, but really, like, I use my external mic as my mic, so that's why you don't see a EQ setup or anything. I just turned everything up. It doesn't matter because I'm not using it in game. I'm using my USB stand mic as my mic for in-game, for streaming, for everything. So this is my main overall mic. Just sounds better to me personally. Obviously, it's an external mic, but I will be doing a video. If you follow my Discord channel, or not video, sorry, I'm gonna be doing a update. If you follow my Discord channel, I'll be posting the update of what I use for the microphone EQ for both the V2 Pro and the V2 wired. But just, you're gonna have to go in there in that Discord channel. Actually, you know what, not only will I put it in the Discord channel, I'll actually put it in the comment section too, but just be patient on that because I'm going to have to play with it before I finally put these away. And obviously, like I said, the giveaway for this one will be waiting for somebody else. And yes, it will be disinfected and everything because it was used a little bit, but it's okay because it's still a brand new fucking headset. Still runs really good. And it actually definitely, I think the V2 wired probably has the best what do you call it, directional audio out of all the headsets. I don't know why. I just think it does. I mean, audio quality sounds better on the V2 Pro, but the directional audio just sounds more on par with the V2 Wire. Don't ask me. Anyways, so that will be updated in the comment section of the YouTube channel and in Discord. We'll be posting it in there as well. So here you are, BlackShark V2 Pro EQ. This is what you've been waiting for. I worked my ass off for this, so please, I'm telling you, every little bit of support is appreciated. It took me a long time to get this done. I've actually gone through a lot of rough spots in my life for the past few months, but I'm actually doing much better now, and 2022 is a big year for us. 2022, can't fucking wait. I'm so excited. So let's all have a good fucking new year, right? And enjoy our products, and can't wait for the future of what's to come next from Razer. It's gonna be fucking awesome. So here we go. We're gonna start off with Apex Legends. Now, the way I tested this is very simple. Okay, I personally been struggling in trios. I'm not good in trios. I'm learning. Like, I've had some few games here and then, nothing too crazy. But my duos gameplay has been more than, I guess you could say, above average. It's been really, really good. It hasn't been the best, but it's been really, really good. I've been doing a lot better in duos, and so majority of this test came from duos. However, it does have good audio separation, good EQ baseline that I made out of this for sure, that picked up the right audio sounds and took away a lot of the negative audio sounds. That's not important because a lot of negative audio sounds, the audio in the game is still really good when there's not many distracting audio sounds, but like majority of the games out right now, there's a lot of distracting audio sounds that need to be taken out. So what I did is very simple, okay? Just play duos, and then from there, I noticed that, like, you could get more audio separation in terms of, like, how would I put it? Like, bass and, you know, important audio footsteps cues and all that, and you know, distance of how far the audio is. But what I did was necessarily emphasize the earthly vibe of the audio in general. However, it did muddle it a little bit. So I just want to specify that you can make this as an option. I have sound normalization at 20. Now, if you read what sound normalization is, it normalizes the loudness of audio played to avoid sudden and unpleasant increase in volume from effects such as explosions. Now, that may be true, but what it actually is doing too, as this is it's like a filter type thing, but what it's actually doing is bringing everything more to a crisp and clean, like how do I put it, like filter on the audio. It just makes it sound more realistic. It makes it sound a little more heart pounding, like, or how do I say it, like more emphasis in the audio. So sound normalization is something that I use as a trick to bring more of a realistic EQ audio out. So what I did is I actually have sound normalization at 20, which is very, very minimal, but it's enough to show a little bit of difference in audio, which just helped clarify a lot of cleaner audio for me in Apex Legends. But however, again, when I say, you know, use my settings as a baseline and then from there adjust where you want, I would say try sound normalization at 20. And if you don't like it, turn sound normalization off. But I wouldn't really do anything much more than that because, again, this is competitive audio. When you're playing Apex Legends and games that require you to hear a competitive edge, it's not about how clean the audio can be. It's about how good the audio is for specific sounds that you need to win a competitive gunfight or an engagement of some sort. So here we go. Apex Legends, bass boost 100. And we're going to start off with the 31 hertz all the way up to 16,000 kilohertz. If you don't know how this works, I'll explain right now. 31 hertz is the low, the very low, and then each sound will go up a little bit in terms of like a low thud, like a vibration thud, all the way to a you know, like a snap of a thud, like a footstep walking on metal or something, right? That would be more of a louder thud, right? Then it goes into your mids, where your mids is just like normal casual sounds of moving around, you know, maybe you like brush up against something and it's got that like flatline sound, right? It's not too high, it's not too low, it's just that perfect mid sound. And then from there you're gonna go into your highs, where it's like the chinging sounds of gunshots, or you know, somebody's ult is going off in a game or whatever, any kind of like loud high, like sometimes like games like Call of Duty have like the airplanes going over. That's highs. Those are really high sounds, so you want to minimize that for competitive edges. So from here, that's how I learned the bass lines and everything. Again, with Apex, it was just simple as playing duos and just adjusting as I played it. So here we go. We got 5, 3, 4, 6, 2, -1, 0, -1, 0, and 1. And the reason why I lowered the highs a lot more this time was because there's a lot more emphasis in having that bass audio for your specific need of hearing footsteps at farther distances, because majority of the audio with the highs is already ridiculous, and that's why the sound normalization just cleans it up a bit. But that's the reason why I chose to use sound normalization as like more of an emphasis on the highs, and then I kept the bass going up to where it's very important. You want to throw the decibels out, but that's, again, my ears are different. Your ears might not like it as exactly like this, so I say adjust up 1 and 2 on each one, or go down 1 and 2 depending on what your ears are picking up. Maybe if the bass is too high right here for you, you might want to just drop it down like 1 or 2 decibels and you should be good. But however, that's what I think has been perfect for me. I've been playing on it for a while with the BlackShark V2 Pro, and then, you know, it's been working out. So if you have any questions on how you could probably adjust, or what you think would be better, or if you even have your own specific EQ for any of these games that you might think might be better from your testing, please, as a community, you know, I would appreciate if you posted in the comment section. Give me your update on that. I appreciate that. Anyone's input is very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Battlefield. So Battlefield, like I said in the beginning of the video, you just want to make sure, just to reiterate, you want to make sure it's on custom mode. Now Battlefield, I just have Battlefield as a set standard, so it's Battlefield 4 mainly and Battlefield 1. Actually, sorry, no, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4. Those are like the main set audio standards. As you can see here, though, I did not switch it over from THX Spatial Custom because it's already set to custom. So when you do this in the beginning of your setup, it's going to stay like that if you switch games, so don't even worry about it. And yes, you can change it mid-game. It will switch over. So if you literally go from Apex to Battlefield and you forget to switch it, you don't have to restart the game or anything. You could literally just switch it right off the bat and it's good to go. So literally, that's all it takes. You just go in there, pop up Synapse. Synapse loads really quick if you just exit out. You want to exit out, and minimizes it to tray anyways. So what you want to do is just click on it again. It'll load it like right up like instantly, and then you just go in and switch your profile. Simple as that. Anyways, I have bass boost set to 80 because I noticed that Battlefield's bass boost was a lot overpowered at 100. I felt like it was a little too much. Audio is very good in Battlefield, and again, how I've tested it, very simple, just playing some matches. Obviously I've had to balance out what was going to be loud audio of like the highs and stuff versus like vehicles highs and explosions and whatnot versus the bass sounds of like the lows of people's footsteps. So mainly my two tests came from Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 a little bit, but it really worked well with Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 4 because in certain maps on Battlefield 5, audio was really good picking up people's footsteps. And then Battlefield 4, it was more or less just because there's not really much terrain-esque maps that I was playing on that I was hearing any kind of negative sounds because of the fact that you're walking on dirt or grass or something and it takes away from bass sounds. Normally that's where you want your highs. But yeah, definitely the lows have been really good for me on this game, and I didn't really have to do much. It's not much of an upgrade, as you can see on some of it there. Just a little bit enough to hear that little bit of competitive edge. So obviously bass boost at 80 definitely helps, and then you got 4, 2, 2, 5, 0, 0, 1, -1, 0, and 1. The highs don't really need to be emphasized in this game. And again, if you want to test it, I mean, I know it says 55 sound normalization right here, but it's turned off. I've been playing with it. It just makes the audio feel more alive, but at the same time, Battlefield, you're playing competitively. You get a lot better audio separation and directional audio if you do it without sound normalization. So that's why I keep it that way specifically. Now, Battlefield 2042. I mean, I've played this game on and off quite a while, and again, it's obviously, we all know it's a really buggy mess and it has its issues, and you know, it needs to be worked on. It's not a classic Battlefield game, but I've noticed that like even the highs have their moments where you kind of need the audio a little bit, and it's been kind of a weird situation. So again, just playing matches. All Out Warfare is pretty chaotic, so I've been literally doing a lot of this testing was for the 32v32 mode, and it definitely did help, especially the game runs a lot better on 32v32, but obviously with a Battlefield game, like I love having the more people to fucking wipe out and get some clips out of. So I definitely, when I did test this though, it was mainly with 32v32, and it did take out a lot of the vehicle audio. So you could take this a little bit with a grain of salt, but at the same time, it's pretty accurate for the most part. Even with All Out Warfare, you're just gonna get a lot more audio clutter with All Out Warfare. So I have bass boost at 100. I feel like the audio, like I said, like with important audio that you need, bass boost at 100 was definitely necessary. But again, because there's so much clutter audio in that game. But you have 6, 5, 7, 8, 2, 2, 4, 1, 2, and 5. And again, the highs were very important in certain spots where like somebody was sitting in a building a little bit of ways and they're like throwing a grenade or something. You could hear the ching of the grenade. It definitely, that the high came in a lot better when I was noticing distance audio like that. So that's why I bring up the highs just a little bit. Even over here in the mids to highs, I bring it up just a little bit just to get a little bit of emphasis. But again, you know, footsteps, very weird how footsteps work. I feel like in this game, some audio is just, again, it's something with these new games, they're just not optimized well enough. But I believe that the audio definitely needs more work. But normally for a Battlefield game, the audio is really good. This game, it's definitely needs work, and I feel like the bass audio was definitely need to be improved because there was a lot of times where I didn't even hear anybody run up behind me or next to me or anything, and it kind of throws me off. So this is what gave me the best competitive edge. But again, like I said, this is too high for you. If you like this a little too high, I would drop down the bass boost to 80 and then maybe just drop these down 1. But that's about it, because after that your audio is, you're gonna lose out on the audio that you need for certain spots. But majority of the time, like I said, it's just audio clutter with Battlefield 2042. So let's fingers crossed hope they fix the game, because it looks like it could be a pretty good game. It just needs to be worked on. So Battlefront 2. Now, Battlefront 2, I finally gave up on the competitive edge of Battlefield 24 or Battlefront 2, because I played it a little bit, and it does seem like, you know, obviously I played the, was it Galactic Conquest or whatever. It was like pretty much just the Battlefield mode, you know, Conquest mode, Galactic Supremacy or whatever. And I noticed that I just feel like I'm more in a movie. You know what I mean? Like I'm more in a movie. Like there's not really much competitive edge in the game, because like really audio is so minor. You know, like it's such a minor thing in that game when literally the whole world sounds like a freaking laser beam going off in your head. You know what I mean? So what I tried to do with this game was specifically just try to get a more realistic sound approach out of it. And on top of that, give it more like an earthly, you know, like just like you're in space and you're fighting in this fucking space galactic war. You know, that made me enjoy the audio a lot, and I felt really good with this audio. Everything is emphasized the way it should be in this EQ. But like I said, if anything is out of your discretion, like I told you, with all my EQ profiles, just adjust by 1 or 2, either up or down on specific areas, again, from lows to highs, It's just what you think is gonna be a low sound. If it's too much, drop it a bit. That's all I gotta say. But Battlefront 2, I feel like this is more of a realistic EQ approach versus actual competitive sound approach. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 100. Then you got 4, 1, 3, 5, 2, -1, 2, 0, 1, and 3. And out of this, I felt like, you know, I still kind of, you can see where I kind of put the 5, the 3, and the 4. You can see where I kind of tried to add a little bit of a competitive edge in certain instances, but in reality, the game is just so cluttered with audio that it's just, you want to make it sound as good as possible. And this is what I got for good sound, but obviously with maybe a little bit more emphasis on where the footsteps are coming from. You know what I mean? Once in a blue moon, you do hear people running by and shit, and it does sound like, oh, okay, this works, you know, like you hear it really clear. But at the same time, it was majority of the time I was playing the game, it was maybe like 3 instances of a match where I'm actually going, oh, I heard that guy's footsteps, where did he come from? But you know, it's all about map knowledge, really, and then obviously just the music sounds so good, so you want to kind of feel like immersed in the game. It's more of an immersion, but fun shooter. So, Battlefront 2 is over. COD Cold War. This is Call of Duty Cold War. Now, I haven't really touched this at all because of the fact that the last one I made was just perfectly fine. It worked for me regardless, and a lot of people I've noticed actually enjoyed this EQ a lot. I don't know who even really plays Cold War anymore, but it's still there just in case you do. But yeah, bass boost at 80. I felt like Call of Duty Cold War's bass was just ridiculous. It was a little too overpowered, but yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird game. So, but this is what worked for me, and I think I also use a bass boost in the in-game settings, if I'm not mistaken. But another thing about that too is if like a lot of Call of Duty games have in-game settings, so I'll be posting those down in the description as well. Just send me a reminder if you don't see it right away, so that way I could just go in and click on the game and show you guys what I'm using for an audio setting in-game. But I'm pretty sure I'm using the just standard bass boost, not the super bass boost. And I use bass boost obviously here because, again, it does help with the far distance bass sounds, like someone running by. But that's about as best as it gets because obviously when they get close, you're going to hear them. It's nice. But then sometimes it could get overblared. That's why I don't have it up so high like in other Call of Duties that I do. So bass boost at 80, then you got 4, 3, 2, 5, 0, -1, 1, 2, -1, and 3. The highs do get important at certain instances, like I said, from somebody across the map or whatever, throws a grenade or whatever the case may be, breaks glass or something. You kind of need to hear that instance of audio, you know what I mean? Or shoots near glass or something, you hear the gunshots in the distance. You kind of just need a little bit of that emphasis. Remember that these EQs are competitive edge related for the most part of certain games. I will list otherwise or explain otherwise if they're not. So anyways, Call of Duty Vanguard. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, Call of Duty Vanguard, by far the worst game for audio I've ever heard in my life. Now I'm telling you, like, I don't not know if I could get a better EQ out of this, and I don't think I ever will. It all depends on the devs. It all depends on the devs if they're going to fix their audio. So quick explanation for those looking for a COD Vanguard audio. I'm gonna tell you right now, you've already played the game, you've already heard how bad audio is. It's not that the audio is not clean. It's very clean audio. Like, they actually have improved their audio stage a little bit, but however, they added so much immersion-esque ambient noises that it takes away from any kind of footsteps or any kind of importance audio that you need. So it's literally just, you're trying to work with the bullshit, right? That's pretty much all it really comes to. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit audio, but you know, you're immersed in it. So obviously, like, I just added a little bit of a sound normalization to clean it up, you know what I mean? But in the end, like, in certain aspects, very, very rare, even I can see very, very rare, that you'll get an actual audio cue depending on what map you're playing on or whatever. I know one map that has like the nighttime sky and you're on a rooftop or whatever, and it's inside buildings or whatever. You have like a rooftop-esque building style or whatever. I don't know what to call, like a skyscraper building. When you're on that map, it's literally nothing but planes in the air exploding random bombs, so you don't hear anything. All you just hear is like, it's just very distracting. There's no way of getting around that because that's a low and you need footsteps for low, so you're gonna get confused by audio like that. So this is the best that I could do, and I hope it works for you. But other than that, I mean, I really can't tell you much. Everybody's having audio issues in this game. And on top of that, they have like ninja footstep or something. So sometimes you can't even hear footsteps because of that as a perk, you know, because they just take the audio away. So it's a really ridiculous bullshit, you know, audio experience for a game, but you're just going to have to work with it as best you can and just understand that it's not the headset, it's the fucking game, you know, and it's sad to say, but this is Call of Duty Vanguard. It's the best I got. So I got bass boost 100, sound normalization 20, then I got 7, 5, 4, 7, 4, 1, 0, 0, 1, and 2. And again, like I said, good luck. Good luck, Godspeed. Hope you enjoy this EQ, because it was a pain in the ass to fucking get for both the V2 wired and the V2 Pro. It was a pain in the fucking ass. So, COD Warzone. COD Warzone. This has changed quite often because of the Vanguard integration, and luckily, as of late, I know like my EQ's still up to date, but as of late, I actually updated it right after they did the audio fix, in a sense, for the Vanguard map. The Vanguard map, Caldera, and audio has been kind of up and down since, and it's got a lot of bugs and issues. Warzone is just a mess, but it's always been a mess. And I've noticed too in Warzone, there's been a lot of moments where, like, now that you're on dirt and terrain and stuff, where highs become a little bit more of an important factor now. But obviously the bass is still very, very important on certain spots, so that's why I have bass up so high. And yes, this will help you pinpoint stuff. Rebirth Island, this EQ works really well, but you will notice a lot more high sounds now compared to the last EQ, in terms of like, say something in the distance, or like a plane flying by, or somebody in the distance is shooting through, like I said, like a fucking inside a building, and the high chinging is echoing and stuff. You'll hear that a lot more detailed. But again, competitive advantage wise, hopefully it doesn't distract your footstep audio in certain spots. Audio design in Call of Duty overall is just complete dog shit, but this is the best I got for Warzone. It actually works for me really well. I actually hear a lot of footsteps, so it actually works pretty well. So this is bass boost 100. Then you got 7. Oh, by the way, no sound normalization. You got 7, 4, 6, 6, 0, 1, 3, 0, 1, and 4. CSGO. Now, we have a lot of profiles here, so I'm just doing the best that I can. Like I said, there's some games I have missed, but I have to buy them, so you're just gonna have to bear with me on that. Maybe one of these days I'll pull up a video, and I could pull up a if I get the game, I could pull up EQ style settings or whatever for it, or maybe even do like a Reddit research and kind of base off what they got, and maybe give you guys just insight on that, see what other people have chosen for that have the game. But yeah, so just keep an eye out for that in the Discord channel. Please follow it. We'll be updating more frequently about Razer THX stuff, especially if you ask questions. I will be there to answer them. Please and thank you. Okay, CSGO. So CSGO, like I said, it's the same thing every time. Like when you're playing CSGO, like I was playing deathmatch mainly just so I could hear people running more, but that's because that's the only time you really hear people actually trying to run. But majority of the time, like I said, it's just the slow walks, and it's about map knowledge, and obviously like ideas of where people could be. Maybe like reminder of audio that happens when you're in the match, because obviously when you're playing like whatever the mode, I forget the name of the mode, but the mode where it's the one life, the normal fucking CSGO mode, when you play in those modes, you have to kind of remember where audio comes from. And this whole EQ is based around, like, you get that audio that you need when it comes, but then you have to just use your map knowledge, your IQ, and your like memory of where that audio came from, because a lot of people are going to be sneaking around. So it's just based off of this entirely. I have bass boost at 100. You have 6, 4, 5, 6, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, and 2. Just brings the highs enough to where, like somebody uses an op and shoots in the distance, you're going to hear it, and you're going to be able to pinpoint where it's coming from. It takes away a lot of the distracting audio, and again, emphasizes enough to where if a footstep crunches, if you do hear a footstep crunch, you will pick it up. So, CSGO, I truly think I did really good with that EQ, by the way. But like I said, it's just really hard because of the fact that, the silent steps in games. I'm telling you, I don't know why people are doing it. Destiny 2. Now, again, this is based around, like, obviously I went for a little bit of competitive advantage, but at the same time I brought sound normalization up to 40 because I wanted to feel more immersive. Because again, Destiny 2 is one of those games where, like, when you're playing multiplayer, I noticed, especially because I haven't been able to get into multiplayer, but I've been watching videos on multiplayer, and I've been watching with testing the audio, and I've noticed a lot that it's really just a bunch of distracting sounds again too. But those instances where somebody could be like, sneaking up on you something, you will pick it up with this. But overall, I just try to bring more life to the sound of the audio, so that's why I went with this EQ instead. And again, when I tested it while playing the game, I don't have multiplayer, so this is based around just the map and immersion type factor that I try to bring into it. But again, remember, we're using esports-esque style. These headsets are made for competitive gaming. Obviously, you can make these sound really good with immersive sounds. My music EQ is probably one of the favorites of these headsets. I love them so much. But without further ado, this is the Destiny 2 EQ. You got bass boost at 100, sound normalization at 40, 5, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 0, 2, and 3. Destiny 2, ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep an eye out. I will probably be playing that a little bit more to get into multiplayer, and then maybe we could adjust it like later on when I do put the headset back on. But obviously, like I said, the main focus is numero uno now, Kraken V3 Pro, Razer.com exclusive. Amazing, amazing headset. Fortnite. So Fortnite, okay, here's the thing. Fortnite's one of those games where it's like, it's really all about your base. Like, I don't think there's ever been a real instance where the highs were ever important because of the fact that, like, you know, maybe in the direction of how far somebody was shooting, but that will be picked up very, very easily in this game if the highs pick up really, really well. So the only thing I did is like very similar to the was it the Apex Legends game that I have EQ set up. I put sound normalization at 20 just to bring a little bit more of the immersive like audio experience into the game, but that was just to bring up the highs enough at distance. That was literally the only reason. Bass, I just gave it so like you're gonna fucking hear somebody at a far enough distance, you're gonna like it. Fortnite, I really got into it for like a couple matches, not much. Had my fun with it, won a couple matches, and I was done with it. I was like, you know what, because like it starts getting to a point where people are building on you, and audio is not really there when people are building on you. It's when they're trying to sneak around, or you're running up into an area and you hear somebody breaking wood or whatever, or busting up a house and stomping through the fucking first floor, second floor. This is where the audio comes in importance. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 20, 6 6 4 6 3 0 1 0 0 and 1. Again, the sound normalization, I would personally use it because it does just bring the highs up at distances pretty clean, so you know exactly where they're coming from. Like, oh, I hear that. But over here, for sure, like you don't need the EQs up high at all for the mids to high. It's really the bass, because the bass will pick up very, very far with this game. Bass is pretty damn good when people are running through in this game. It does help a lot. So Halo Infinite. Now, Halo Infinite was one of those games where, like I said, it was like, it's just so much fucking weird audio in it. You know, it sounds good. I like the audio. It's clean, but it's in terms of like footsteps and stuff, it's very rare you're going to find instances where audio is just there. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like, oh, I can spot them. It's more or less like, you're kind of guessing where people are coming from, and you hear gunshots and stuff, so you don't want it to be too much, but you still want to feel like involved. And again, it's that space theme. I felt like it was just more of an immersive experience, so I went based off of more of an immersive, like I'm going to enjoy the audio while I'm playing, with a little bit of possible advantage. So the 5 most important audios I got out of this game, and I just leveled them out, was from 31 hertz down to 500 hertz. That goes from low to mid, and I just maxed it out 4, and that was it. 4 decibels. So that way all of that audio kind of comes up evenly, you know what I mean? So any bit of that audio should come up at the right levels, and you know, it will give you a little bit of an advantage, and also the very, very high too, because again, farther distances, any loud high ping should be on par with where everything's at. So personally, like I said, if you wanted a more of a competitive advantage, probably want to bring this up 1, and obviously bring a couple of these like up maybe 1 or so, depending, just a couple of them. I would probably say more towards the mids right here. I would bring those up and then leave these the same. So but for now, this is what I found to be the best, and sound normalization is up at 50. So I have bass boost 100, sound normalization 50, 4 4 4 4 4 1 1 0 1 and 4. That gave me the best Halo Infinite experience with audio. I can't say much of a competitive aspect behind it, but it did help a little bit. I just, like I said, it was more or less just I wanted to feel immersed in the game. I didn't want to feel like because there's so much distracting audio, it wasn't really, you're not going to get a competitive advantage out of the audio. I don't think anybody is. I think you just need an overall clear, broadened sound with no distraction is what I was trying to get at. And you know, bass boost at 100 will probably help. That's pretty much the only thing that helps with the bass audio would be the bass boost 100. Everything else you just want to make it cleaned out. So Halo Infinite over. Now we got Insurgency. Insurgency, by far one of the most impactful audio experiences I've had in a game. It was really hard to not want to make a realistic audio EQ for this game because of how good the audio is. So obviously I put the competitive advantage you can see right here at bass, obviously for footsteps in close quarters, but man, I just put the immersion on this one for sure. Sound normalization I put at 50 because you have to hear the audio with Insurgency Sandstorm. It is amazing. It's one of the best audio experiences I've heard, but obviously with that sound normalization 50, I made it more of an immersive factor, but at the same time, the footsteps are up for that competitive edge. Now personally, if you want more audio detailed separation, and if you don't care about the audio experience that much, because especially again, out of all the games I've played, Insurgency probably has the best audio, close to it. Now I'm not going to say the best, but it does have really good audio. I would definitely turn sound normalization off if you want more of like directional, I want to hear exactly where that footstep's coming from, but it will make the audio lesser of an experience. When this game with sound normalization, it gives that audio so much like life, full of life, sounds so good. But anyways, we got bass boost at 100, sound normalization 50. We got 4, 2, 3, 5, 0, -1, 0, -1, 0, and 1. Again, the highs, you really don't need to adjust the decibels of the highs because the sound normalization is going to do that a little bit for you. But at the same time, it made everything feel more alive. Like it was like more like you're immersed into the world. And then the sound normalizations, well, bringing that in, but then I just put the bass up to where, you know, if somebody's sneaking around or somebody's walking up the stairs or something, you're going to hear where they're coming from and hear it well. So now I'm going to skip the music and the open world EQ for now. We're going to cover that in the end. And then obviously we're going to go straight to PUBG. So PUBG is not much different in terms of the bass sound because bass is really, really good in this game. But again, directional audio is very important. So I definitely just took away like, because PUBG's audio is good no matter what in terms of like the way it sounds. They really made guns sound realistic. They made footsteps sound realistic. They made, you know, all kinds of things like the explosions ringing in your ears and stuff. It sounds really, really good. Obviously, it's not like full-on immersive. It's not like actual full-on to the T realistic, but it's really good. So obviously, I just made it important. So bass boost 100. 6, 2, 3, 5. The reason why I put 2 and 3 here is because obviously I didn't feel like the bass at those levels needed to be so high. It was mainly the bass from the low thud to the high thud. So that's why I went with that, and that gave me the best audio clarity of where people were at. So I'm gonna try this again. Bass boost 100, 6, 2, 3, 5, 0, -1, 0, 1, 0, and 3. Remember, PUBG very much won a competitive experience with that one. So Rainbow Six Siege. Now, again, I have bass or sound normalization at 30 off. It was on for a bit. I want you guys personally to test this if you guys play Rainbow Six Siege, because definitely it was bringing in a lot of sound at distances that I was not hearing before when I had sound normalization on. But again, it does bring it more to life too. But then in terms of a close quarter audio, if somebody blows up a satchel charge on a brick wall, or I mean not brick wall, wooden wall or whatever, it will really distract the audio. So I tried cleaning that up. I turned it off to clean it up and just gave it a competitive advantage. Footsteps is obviously the biggest thing in this game. It's audio is everything. Also map knowledge and IQ. So bass boost 100. Then I got 8, 6, 4, 7, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. And again, I just put the emphasis on those highs just a little bit, just so you could hear a little bit of a boost in the audio at range. If anybody's breaking something, busting through something or whatever, shooting a gun, it's just enough to where you could, you know that something's going on in a distance, in a direction. And obviously the bass boost is just to hear footsteps. Rainbow Six Siege, really, really good game with audio. I do thoroughly enjoy playing the game, but I haven't been playing it for a while. So Squad is one of those games too where it's like more of an immersion factor. I did not put sound normalization up. I did test it, but I did not put sound normalization up. I do feel like in certain instances you kind of need to hear footsteps, but at the same time, Squad is so based around like, okay, where are they coming from? They're over in this direction. Squad's got to focus on this direction. So you're not really getting the audio experience of footsteps by you, but in the instance that you do need to hear footsteps, this is what worked for me the best. I'm going to say also take this with a grain of salt because it's really hard to test this game's audio when there's so much other audio things that could happen, but give this more or less like a directional audio, but more of immersive audio experience as well. So I went with bass boost 80, 3, 1, 2, 4, -1, 0, 1, -1, 0, and 2. And again, it's just bringing up the highs to where they're very important at range if somebody's shooting a gun in the distance. The bass boost obviously is only for super close quarters if you really need to hear it. But you're not going to be like literally hearing somebody walk across the map, across, you know, like they're from one mountain to the other mountain. Like it's not going to work like that. So this is obviously just to make sure the audio is not too crazy. It sounds a little bit more realistic, but with a lot more directional input on it. And yeah, there you go. Squad. Super People. Now, this is probably one of my intrigued games coming up. I kind of went based off of how PUBG works with audio, but also it has like a little bit of like a COD mobile like esque sound design in terms of like not the actual like phone audio design, but like the way they just made the like sound audio in the game. It's kind of weird. It just reminds me of that a little bit, but the audio with footsteps and stuff is really good too. I believe it still needs a lot of tuning, but definitely keep an eye out for this one because this one's going to be a good game. I'm pretty sure it's going to be probably the next battle royale that people are going to be hopping onto, especially that PUBG's community is going to be swapping over. It's going to be nice. But I have bass boost at 100, 7, 5, 4, 6, 1, 0, -1, 1, -1, and 2. Again, you'll see a lot of -1s on the 2000 hertz and the 8000 hertz because those are a little bit of the highs that aren't very important. I kind of wanted to minimize that so it doesn't distract you. So a lot of games when you see that, it's going to be not to distract you. But Super People, top tier. Tarkov. All right, Tarkov. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Tarkov's a pain in the fucking ass. All right, I give anybody respect that plays this game, but there is very much important audio anywhere and everywhere in this game, and the reason why this one was one of the hardest EQs to make, which I salute all of you that play this game and do a damn good job in, because you guys are fucking amazing, and the fact that you guys can learn the game and fucking survive with the way it is, it's nuts. There is so much like ratty campy shit that happens and a lot of sneaking around. It's really hard to get audio necessary. But if you play like a ninja, this is why I'm specifying this. If you play like a ninja and you sneak around in some bushes, or you know, hide around like on the side of a building and stuff, and you're kind of pulling through there, you will pick up people. If you're sneaking up on them, you will pick up people's audio really well with this EQ. I would obviously bass boost a little bit, because that's what's going to give you the biggest footstep sounds. But even like the stomping on like a staircase that has like metal or whatever, highs are actually important for that one too, because they do pick up that sound. So technically I kind of wanted to balance specifically this part of the bass all the way to the highs over here, because I wanted to balance out if they're stomping. And literally, if you really look at this audio, it's the reason why I made the decibels leveled like this, is because that's like literally the exact sounds that's coming out of the footstep hitting people walking on staircases or whatever. That it literally is that exact sound that it's making while they're walking up. So it's really cool. Definitely had a good balance on that one. But again, like I said, in terms of distance audio and stuff, there's so much going on. And sound normalization, I did try to play with it for the immersive factor, but it takes so much away from the important audio, so I just turned it off. You could test this and play it. I would personally not do 55. I would probably drop it down to like maybe, I would say 35. I would drop it down to 35 and play with that and see if that just kind of emphasizes the immersive side, where it's, because like if you're in an open like forest and stuff, the audio could be really good and sounds very like, you know, like you're like, wow, like I feel like I'm actually in here. But at the same time, when it comes to like the gunshots and the footsteps, man, it's a hard one to dial in, but this is the best I got for it. So it's bass boost 100, 4, 3, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, -1, and 2. And then obviously, last but not least, Valorant. Now, again, I did say that audio with Valorant and CSGO is very similar in terms of like you have a lot of cues that really throw you off in terms of audio. But I know a lot of people were questioning about my audio because of the fact of this game alone. But again, the reason why I have to explain this in clearly in CSGO and Valorant is the fact that there really is no audio cue except for abilities and footsteps. And footsteps come rare. And footsteps come rare because they sneak around a lot. That's just the type of game it is. So deathmatch is near impossible to test highs with that game, because obviously nobody's using abilities. It's really just shooting each other in deathmatch. But if you're playing a normal match, then obviously the footsteps become less of a factor and it's more about the highs. So I've tested my bass audio with the footsteps in deathmatch, and I tested the highs based off the matches in a regular match or whatever. And you, again, if you have questions, you will be seeing me stream a little bit more Valorant. I've been wanting to get into it. I've been kind of intrigued by it. But again, it's really hard to get an EQ based around this, at least to perfect it, because yes, deathmatch is going to give me the best way of testing bass sounds, but at the same time, transferring that over with the highs of abilities and stuff that can be super distracting in a game, it is really hard. And especially because they just, you know, they're fighting each other, especially when the people walk and sneak around a lot more than actually running. It's really hard to get that audio dialed in perfectly. So I'm gonna just go based off this. So I say take it with a grain of salt. And again, like I said with all my videos, if it's not good enough for you, go up 1 or 2, and then go down 1 or 2, depending on what you think you need more of. You need more bass, boom. You need less bass, boom. You know what I mean? So every single one, just try to do that. You could even go across the board and go up 1, up 2, up 1, up 2, up 1, up 2, you know, all the way across the board until you find the desired level field of the audio. But I got bass boost 100 because, again, I feel like in all instances, your bass boost is the biggest important thing. You need 4, 5, 3, 6, 0, 0, 2, 3, 1, and 4. And again, the 4, 3, 2, all these raised highs is specifically just hearing, say like you push a C flag, and obviously A flag's on the complete other side. Well, to hear somebody, you know, flash an area thinking somebody's there, right? They throw a little flash bomb thing. You need to hear that, especially at that far of a range. And again, that's going to pick it up the best. And then obviously, like, somebody takes a shot, like say like on a second floor or whatever, and you're down below, you need to be able to hear that guy at a higher level. So that's what this high EQ is about. And then obviously the bass sound is when they are like side strafing from behind a wall and they take a step, and you're not there, but you're like close to it and you can hear it. That's what that's for right there. So hopefully that works out for you. But now, obviously, that's it for the games. However, we got, well, obviously not all the games. We got open world and music. So we're going to go with music right now. Now, I'm going to tell you, sound normalization, I put at 100 because obviously it just brings to life the music a lot more. It sounds so good. I've thoroughly enjoyed actually going back to these headsets both and testing the audio of music. It's been very, very nice. And I actually was sitting there for hours at one point. It was just crazy. I've been sitting there for hours at one point with literally rock music and EDM music, testing the audio and listening to both EQs on both these headsets. And man, like I know, like, don't get me wrong, it's a gaming headset, and I know it ain't like top tier quality, like, but this is the best that I got out of it, and it was very, very much enjoyable, and definitely does work. So I obviously did bass boost 100, sound normalization 100, and I went 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 2, and that just gave me an overall emphasis on like the more impactful sounds of the bass, but then obviously the highs were brought up enough to where you felt immersed in it, and sound normalization was really, really good to bring that all to life even that much more. So definitely sound normalization is one of the biggest things that I don't think a lot of other headsets have as a feature, and this actually brings a lot to life with that. And then obviously open world, it's not much of a difference from the music EQ, obviously, because you just really need to find a balance with everything. So obviously I just brought into life, like, you know, thinking about it, like just in your own instance, right? You're walking, and then all of a sudden you step on something else. Like the bass needs to kind of match with that, obviously. And then when you're going somewhere to like open a door or something, then you don't really need the creaking of the door, you know what I mean? Like it's still realistic, but you don't need that fucking like crazy sound emphasized so much. So obviously I brought up what needed to be brought up in terms of natural sound and brought it down a little bit. So this is my best open world sound that I got. Tested it with videos of travel videos and obviously games that like just show a lot more, like Skyrim and stuff, where you're walking around a little bit more with no music, just literally just walking through the forest. Cyberpunk was another game that I tested. We were walking through everything, so on and so forth. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 100, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, and 2. Hopefully you guys do enjoy that one. It took me a while to get that one for sure, but that is all the EQs I have currently for the BlackShark V2 Pro. The BlackShark V2 Wire has all the same ones too. So what I'm going to explain right now is I'm going to show you guys the BlackShark V2 Wire, but before I do, I just want to mention that the BlackShark V2 Pro will be any EQ updates for this specific headset will be put into the Discord channel and into the YouTube channel if I update anything. So keep an eye on this video, maybe save this video. Obviously Discord channel does help with communication. I mean, please join it. It's actually we have fun, good times with the community in there. If you have any questions about any EQ stuff, I've actually made friends from people from off these EQ videos, and now they play matches with me. It's really, really cool. So I do play matches with people. So if you do want to match make one of these days, or just kind of get to know who I am and see what this community is all about, by all means, see what I'm trying to do. By all means, join it. I truly appreciate all the support. But yeah, definitely go in there, and if you have questions or you want a specific game, or maybe you've tested a specific game that I already have on here and you think you have a better EQ, I will definitely go in and try it out and see if I like it myself, because I might keep it myself. So definitely please join that. And again, like I said, this will be the official last video of the BlackShark V2 Pro. That's it. A lot of history with this headset, and I truly love it. I'm still keeping it. But this is the one that will be given away. So we're gonna pop this on, and remember, the setup is exactly the same way. Like, I'm not even kidding you, it's the same way. So you're gonna set it up THX spatial audio, and then obviously you're gonna use your USB sound card as the microphone. But entirely the microphone is all based around just your in-game audio, and if you don't have an external, I personally recommend getting an external, because even gaming headset microphones aren't the best quality, but I do have videos of where I'm using this microphone headset, and it does work like pretty well. Not, I wouldn't say extremely well, but it works pretty well for live streaming. So definitely I have dialed in some microphone settings for this, but like I said, I'll be covering that in a YouTube video or something else like that in the Discord channel too. So we're gonna switch this over now. USB sound card. Okay, so what you would do, again, switch it to use this device instead. Right now it says Razer Blackshark V2 Pro is for speakers, but it's gonna go straight to THX spatial audio. That's what you want. That's the main general basis in your Windows setting, is gonna be THX spatial audio. That's where you want it clicked, and then your input, it will be your USB sound card if you're using the headset, or your external mic as your audio thing. So if I could show you this, I didn't show this for the BlackShark V2 Pro, so hopefully you're still watching, but if you have it set up, you want to make sure everything, and I mean everything in the sound settings, is not plugged in or disabled. Obviously, the BlackShark V2 Pro is ready. That's because I have both headsets plugged in. But you really want the default default communications device to be the USB sound card, and THX spatial audio to be the default device. So you can disable everything else. Everything else not needed, right? Then you go to recording. Recording is where your mic's going to be very important. So obviously right here you see Razer Siren Mini is ready, USB sound card's default device, but normally you would have it at default device for your external mic, or if you're using the headset, obviously this is correct. So then everything else disabled. Again, if you have an extra headset, just leave that ready. It doesn't matter. And just make sure that whatever you're using is the main source at the moment, but everything else will be disabled. I have my microphone right here says Razer Cairo. That's just my camera, so just ignore that. After that, just set it up, you're okay. And then also, before you do hit okay, you want to check too that, yeah, communications do nothing, but you also want to check, I think it's under properties, if I'm not mistaken. You want to make sure right here, so it says 24-bit 48,000 hertz. You want to make sure that's the audio quality that you're getting. Sometimes it won't show 24-bit, I'll say 16-bit. That's completely fine too. But 24-bit is the best audio quality if it does give you the option. It's very weird. Sometimes with updates, it'll come back. Sometimes with updates, it'll go away. Don't ask me. But if you have 24-bit under the properties of that headset, please make sure you use 24-bit if you can, because that's the best audio quality. But if not, 16-bit is still very good. It's pretty much the standard. It's very, very good with the headset. So anyways, we're done with this now. You should be good. Okay. Now we're going to go into the audio for the Razer USB sound card. Okay, so obviously it's pretty much identical. You're gonna go in THX spatial right off the bat. Then you're gonna click on custom mode. Make sure your dots, I mean, you can set them to whatever you're comfortable with, but this is what I found to be the best for myself. It's up to you entirely on that one. And then make sure, obviously, like I said, the game is under custom mode. You can test, and this is another thing I didn't tell with the BlackShark V2 Pro, but people should know this by now, is that you can test turning on like THX competitive mode, and then you could turn it off still, because THX spatial will just overlap inside the software when you have it down in the Razer settings. So leave it at that, okay? So you just obviously could leave that THX spatial mode or THX competitive. Test that. If it sounds better, you hear better distances, good. But if not, custom mode's always good too, because custom mode is technically using only just what you use for your EQ. What THX competitive mode does is kind of bring in, like how my setup is right here, it'll probably just bring up the important audios just a little bit without touching your EQ, just naturally. So anyways, Apex Legends. Everything I kind of did with this headset, it was, like I said, it was just because the audio quality is so good with the V2 Pros, which, by the way, I don't know why I put them on my bed. This should be right here. But everything has been literally just emphasized a little better with the BlackShark V2 Pro, except, like I said, directional audio just seems a little better with this headset. But this headset, really good. I love my BlackShark V2 Pro. This headset, like I said, you just need to up a little bit of the audio to get close to that same audio experience as you do with the BlackShark V2 Pro, but you get more directional audio out of this headset. So without further ado, Apex Legends, bass boost 100. We're going to skip through this quick because I explained on the last video, the last explanation of this video, what the BlackShark V2 Pro, how I tested each audio with. So we're going to just go right through it and go quick. Apex Legends, a bass boost 100, sound normalization 30. You got 7, 5, 5, 7, 4, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 5. Battlefield, tested it with Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, and Battlefield 4. Very identical in audio. Very, 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 very good audio. Loved it. Bass boost 100. 6, 5, 5, 7, 1, 1, 2, 0, 3, and 4. I brought a little bit more of the highs out of this headset just so you could hear a little bit of audio that needs to be heard as a high compared to the BlackShark V2 Pro, because there's so much audio that's already really good with the high. So Battlefield 2042, again, one of those games where it's just really confusing with the audio, but definitely we'll just wait for them to work on it. Hopefully they do some patches. Bass boost 100, 7, 6, 5, 8, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Battlefront 2, one of those games again where it's about immersion more than anything, because there's so much audio going on. So obviously it's based around like just trying to feel immersed in the game, a little bit with an audio experience, a competitive edge experience, but mainly just immersive audio because the audio is just not meant to be competitive in that game. You got bass boost 100. Excuse me, bass boost 100, sound normalization 80. You got 4, 3, 5, 6, 4, 1, 0, 2, 2, and 3. COD Cold War, Again, Call of Duty Cold War. I don't know who plays that anymore. Bass boost, again, like I said, that's why I have it at 90 instead of 80 like I do on the V2 Pro. And the reason why is because it's still pretty high in terms of bass sound, but obviously it's just that much of a difference with the headset in terms of bass audio. So it does come in a little bit not as strong. But I have the bass up high a lot right here because I noticed the low thuds needed to be emphasized quite a bit to get that separation. So 7, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 4. Then we got COD Vanguard. Once again, I apologize to anybody that's struggling with this game in terms of its audio, but this is the best I could get for competitive edge. Obviously, the game is just dog shit with audio. But this is the best I could do, and hopefully it works for you. So bass boost 100, 8, 6, 5, 7, 0, 1, -1, 1, -1, and 2. Then we got COD Warzone. Now, COD Warzone, I just literally been playing with this thing left and right, but this seemed like to be the best for me. Obviously, actually, sound normalization is not on, so you can turn that off. I just had that for my last testing. So normally it's just bass boost 100. It's the same COD audio experience, but obviously with the Vanguard integration, I just worked with it, and it definitely works for me. It helped me a lot. So 8, 6, 6, 8. 5, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 6. And the reason why I upped the highs on that one specifically is because, like I said, it was just with this headset, like you bring into life a little bit of the bass sound. Like it does definitely help with audio that does come out, but you just never know what you're gonna go through. So it's very weird with the game. I can't explain it. It's very weird how that works. But yeah, it's the highs come in when you need it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it's very weird, but you do need the high sometimes on that one. CSGO, I've already explained this. CSGO is a very weird game with audio too at times. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 30. You got 7, 5, 4, 6, 3, 0, 1, 1, 1, and 2. Again, CSGO is not one of those games where you're going to hear everybody's footsteps all the time. Obviously, people will slow walk, and people will, and again, with the sound normalization, it kind of brings to life the highs a little bit. But again, that's why like the highs are only raised by a little bit, because again, the highs come in on this headset a little lower than they should be. But it does help a little bit with that. And obviously the bass boost, when you need to hear those footsteps, they're there. So then you got Destiny 2, bass boost 100, sound normalization 40. Then you got 7, 5, 4, 6, 1, 3, 1, 0, 0, or sorry, 0, -1, and 4. So very weird how that works too. Destiny 2, like I said, more even immersive factor, but I still brought in the important audio. So for multiplayer, it should definitely help. But again, it's not guaranteed because I haven't been able to test multiplayer just by videos I watched, live streams I watched, and then on top of that, my experience playing the game off of multiplayer. So that's just the best I could get at the moment. Take it with a grain of salt. Elder Scrolls Online. So actually, I'm gonna tell this right now. I didn't realize that I didn't have Elder Scrolls Online EQ on my BlackShark V2 Pro. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. Oh, I think because it's under open world. But anyways, again, more of an immersive factor. You want immersive sound for Elder Scrolls Online. There's no competitive edge on it. Obviously, just your game skill. So it's bass boost 100, sound normalization 100. Then I got 4, 6, 6, 4, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, and 5. And also, if you're using it for the BlackShark V2 Pro and you want to try this for the V2 Pro, I would just lower everything by 1. Simple as that. Maybe even like, maybe lower everything by 2, just in case, because again, it's going to be a little emphasis a lot, and you really don't need that emphasis too much with the headset because it's got a lot better audio in terms of like depth and clarity. Fortnite. So Fortnite, I do have sound normalization on for this one to bring the highs out on this headset, because I noticed on the other one it was like bass is so good and it can get a little cluttered in close quarters, but it was the highs at range that I was trying to go for. So I went bass boost 100, sound normalization 30, got 7, 7, 5, 7, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 2. Halo Infinite, again, more of an immersive factor. I have it at a set standards because, again, I brought up what audio I thought was important to be bringing out, but at the same time, just letting the headset do its thing, and then obviously try to be a more immersive factor versus the actual competitive experience, because Halo just doesn't have really a competitive audio curve to work with in terms of audio design. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 50, got 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2. Insurgency, again, one of those games where you just love the audio. It sounds so good. I personally play it more with the immersive factor just because I love the audio. It makes you feel like you're there. It's really, really good audio. Bass boost 100, sound normalization 50. If you want to play less competitively, less realistically and more competitively, then I would probably turn this down to either 20 or turn sound normalization off entirely. But personally, I've been enjoying at 50. I feel like it just comes to life a lot more, and I personally like it a lot. So 6, 4, 5, 7, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're gonna skip the new or open world and music EQ. I'll go to new world. Again, new world's one of those games where it's just based off of entirely audio experience, where you're trying to you know, just feel more immersive in the world. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 100, then you got 5, 4, 5, 5, 3, 2, 4, 3, 3, and 3. One of those, again, immersive sounds where you hear the earthly world around you and stuff, and then the audio, people like hitting trees with their axe and stuff. Really, really cool. And I realized too, I think I just kept in the BlackShark V2 Pro, I kept the EQ set to open world on that for both Elder Scrolls Online and New World, but this one I already had a New World and Elder Scrolls Online EQ. However, like I said, if you want to try this EQ for New World with the BlackShark V2 Pro, I would just recommend probably dropping this all down by 1 or 2 on everything, just because you're going to get a more rich audio sound out of it, but you don't need this much of an emphasis because this is just for the V2 wired. So, PUBG we got, which was very interesting game with this headset. I noticed that the audio just seems a little different compared to the BlackShark V2 Pro. I don't know why, but it still works. And it still works really good. So sound normalization 30. Obviously, I gave a little bit of emphasis on like distance of audio. It's a little bit more important in that game. Then I got 8, 5, 5, 6, 1, 0, 2, 1, 4, and 3. So PUBG, nice game. I truly enjoy that game still to this day. So Rainbow Six Siege, this is probably one of my best experiences with competitive edge audio in any of my headsets, obviously, because it just audio design so good. Really worked on really well. And on top of that, I don't know why, but this headset specifically, probably one of the best experiences with Rainbow Six Siege that I've had. So bass boost 100. Then you got 8, 6, 5, 8, which by the way, I emphasize the bass a lot because of that reason of you could hear literally across the map with this headset. It's nice. 2, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 2. Especially if nobody's yelling and you got comms and you hear somebody running from across, you could literally hear it. It's crazy. Oh, this is the realistic EQ. We're going to skip the realistic EQ. Just going to get back to that in a second. Realm Royale, don't have that on the BlackShark V2 Pro either. I guess I'm missing a lot of EQs on the BlackShark V2 Pro, so I'll make a disclaimer in the comment section about that. So that way you could just adjust 1 or 2 each on this game too. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 20. Again, 6, 4, 4, 6, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 2. Again, with Realm Royale, I don't know who really plays that much anymore, but it was a fun game for me. That's why I had an EQ for it. And actually, this worked really, really well. Almost like just once the sound normalization went up to 20, it was like, that's it. You don't really need an EQ after this. If you want to try with the V2 Pro, just drop this down by, I'd probably say 2 each. Yeah, I'd go 2 each, then you're good to go. Simple as that. Split gate, I noticed too, like I think I even deleted it, split gate, or I don't know. Yeah, I think I deleted split gate off my BlackShark V2 Pro. I'm missing a lot of EQs on there. This is how crazy it's hard to keep up with all this stuff. But honestly, like I said, if you were going to use it for split gate specifically, then you could just copy this and then drop it by 1. I would say 1 each for split gate because it does need audio pretty badly. Bass boost 100, 6, 5, 5, 7, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. Definitely drop those by 1 each if you need it for just 1 each though for the BlackShark V2 Pro. Super People. So Super People, I was playing with sound normalization 100 on this headset because I was just trying to get more of an immersive factor. But honestly, do not use 100. That's obviously just set there. This is for the best competitive edge audio right here. But if you want more of an immersive factor to it, you could try this. Personally, this was a little ridiculous. You don't need it at 100. I'd probably even drop this down to like 50. And then just leave it like that if you want to use sound normalization. But again, I left it as I was testing it. It's obviously not set the way it should have been set, but this is how it should be set personally. Bass boost 100. Then you got 8, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, and 4. And now we go with Tarkov. Tarkov, like I said, one of the hardest games to test audio with because there's so many options of what can happen where audio comes from which way. But this is probably your best competitive edge with this headset, in my opinion. Bass boost 100, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5, 2, 2, 3, 0, and 4. And then last but not least, Valorant. And again, well, actually, last but not least of the games, Valorant. And yeah, bass boost 100. One of those games like CSGO, I'm telling you. 8, 7, 6, 8, 5, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 3. Just bringing up the highs enough to where it picks it up from a random stop. But, you know, you need that audio cue. You need the audio cue for sure. And then, whew, this is a long one. Music, EDM. my favorite EQ probably out of all the headsets entirely was this one with audio EQ, because I felt like the music felt so like good with this headset. I don't know why. It's just, I think because the highs aren't so rich on this headset and the bass is like not as emphasized, that the EQ for the BlackShark V2 Pro still sounds really good, but it doesn't sound as good in my opinion with music EDM/rock as this headset was. So this headset felt like the best experience. I don't know why. Don't ask me, but if I were you, you could even try to balance that other EQ for the BlackShark V2 Pro just by dropping the bass down by like to 90 or 80, and then drop the EQs of the bass down by 1. I'd probably even leave the bass just flatline where it was, and then just drop the bass down by a little bit to see if you can match up with the audio experience of this headset, because this is amazing. So bass boost 100, sound normalization 100, 5 5 5 4 2 3 3 2 2 and 4. And then obviously open world. Again, I've told you guys how I've tested this specifically with open world sounds, with travel videos and all that other good stuff, and you know, walking around like a open environment inside like Skyrim and all those other games too. I got bass boost 100, sound normalization 100, 6 6 6 5 3 4 4 3 3 and 4. And that will do it for this video, and I'm done. Anyways, all the support is truly appreciated. Like I said, if you want to enter in the chance to win that headset, or this headset specifically, and this mouse with a couple stickers of mine as well, with my signatures, by the way, I could either sign it for you specifically on the product or on both products, or I could sign something else, like maybe one of the stickers instead, if you'd rather prefer that. But I'm gonna do something special for whoever wins the prize. All you gotta do is follow and like and subscribe my YouTube channel, my TikTok, and my Instagram, please. They will all be linked in the description. Every other social media account really doesn't matter. You can follow it. I do appreciate the support, obviously, but if you truly want to support me, by all means, just follow all those. But you need to show me proof that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, TikTok, and Instagram. Each one is an entry. So you will get 3 chances of 3 entries. So your name will be in there 3 times if you follow all 3. So obviously if you follow 1, you get 1. You follow 2, you get 2. You follow 3, all those 3, then you get 3. The rest of it is just to support me, and I truly appreciate it. But yeah, 1,000 subscribers is when I will be doing the raffle live. So please hit that button. The sooner we can hit that 1,000 mark, the better. And that'll also bring me to YouTube partnership, so that would truly be awesome to share with you guys that and experience that with each other. And if you're ready for merch, we'll be working on merch this year, 2022, baby. We're gonna have some coffee mugs and some t-shirts, maybe even get into the hat business. I don't know yet, but obviously the first goals are the coffee mugs and t-shirts. This is just a prototype. This isn't what it's gonna be, but we're gonna have ideas, something like that. You can kind of see how it is on me right now, what you're gonna get. And obviously for the first, like, we'll just say for the first 50 people that do get those, when they release, we'll have signatures on them for you guys. So just in case, you never know. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please follow, like, and subscribe if you truly appreciate it. If not, dislike it. By all means, it's all good. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment in the section below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can, as fast as I can, but sometimes I'm a busy guy. But without further ado, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the video, and get ready for that Kraken V3 Pro for those guys that are looking out there for that. That's the future. If you have any more questions or updated EQ stuff, go to my Discord. Again, everything's gonna be in the description down below. Do it for me, for yourself, for the future, for support and care. You guys have a good one. All right, enjoy your 2022. I'm out of here.